Hey there, kids. It's me, Oni the Unicorn. And I'm here to tell you that f***ing your dreams ain't cheap. In fact, it costs a ton of cash to do. So that's why me and the Ohno radio show need your help. Just go to the website displayed below and hit us up with some cash, yo. $1, $5, $1 million if you have it to spare. Any amount is appreciated. Well, I gotta go because these dreams ain't gonna fuck themselves. See ya!
Yes, welcome back to yet another edition of the Ohno Wrestling Podcast. Back on our regular Tuesday evening, as it's been a little bit wonky these last few weeks, but that's just fine. We took the week off last week, and I guess we'll see if we can remember what we're doing.
We're going to give it the old college dropout try.
We're going to certainly do something. And if this is your first time listening, my name is Owen. I am your Sharp Break Kid. Along with me, as always, it's my good friend Duncan, the king of Bong Style. And you've had a couple weeks off the show there, Duncan.
Oh man, it has been a shit pile of a couple weeks of life, but we are back on the train, ready to get it going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, in these last couple of weeks, what's been really standing out to you in the wrestling world, my friend? I know we can't get into everything that's been happening, but
well, I just gotta say that AEW has been just fucking crushing it.
Week after week after week.
Week after week after week, giving us those matches we didn't know that we wanted. Minoru Suzuki versus Bryan Danielson on the buy-in the other day. Holy shit.
Absolutely. And we'll definitely talk a little bit about that and that whole situation that's been going on with the I love the Twitter war between Tony Khan and all of WWE.
All of WWE, exactly. Jesus Christ. He's like, yeah, but I got more money than you, so what's it matter?
So what's it matter? Fuck yeah, I could do no commercials, whatever I want. I'm Tony Khan, yeah.
I'm Tony Khan, I do what I want.
Big old TK running it down.
Swinging his dick around.
And in honor of that, in honor of the fact that we are indeed going to this Saturday's Dynamite here in Orlando, we will be at the show, and in honor of that, we have brand new Ohno Wrestling stickers.
Oh, those are good looking.
Came in today. We've got Ohno Wrestling stickers with of course, the AEW logo. So if you're looking to kind of maybe hang out before the show, I know a bunch of us are going. We're going to be meeting up at a place about 25 minutes away from the arena. It's not right around the corner, but I really don't want to go to any goddamn college bars since it's at, UCF, and that doesn't sound appealing to me.
I can miss that forever.
Yeah, so we're actually going to be meeting up and grabbing a couple drinks probably around 4 p.m. On Saturday. That's going to be at a place called the Commission Beer Chamber. That is right in the Hourglass District of Orlando. I'll post the address in our group and all the finer details. But it is pretty kid-friendly as well. If you've got the youngins coming along and you just want to stop by on the way through, grab a drink, we'll probably be leaving there around 6, I'm guessing, so that we can be there in plenty of time for doors at 7 for Dynamite. And I think we'll all have a good time. So, yeah, definitely stop by there. It's going to be kind of informal, but we definitely just want to kind of get a couple drinks pre-game and then go into the show. So definitely join us if you're coming to the show. Yeah, so let's get into this sort of back and forth about the Friday extended SmackDown and the sort of in a weird way extended Rampage as well with the whole buy-in situation and how that all kind of came to be. And it seemed like it was WWE that started it, right? It was basically like they're gonna be doing an extra half hour on presumably because they were doing the show on FS1. And I think probably, what's your opinion of it? Were they doing this, Duncan, to compete head to head with AEW and to try and take some demo away from Rampage and to make it look like, because they knew they were obviously going on FS1. That's
Sure.
going to be a substantial loss of viewers compared to them being on Fox. So I'm assuming that they might have been a little bit worried about the ratings and what have you, going up against Rampage and like, oh, we've got to do something special. That's throw out an extra 30 minutes of content so that we run over Rampage's start time, hopefully taking away from some of their ratings. Do you kind of see it in that same manner as me? Or
I definitely don't disagree with that. I think that everything that WWE has been doing lately, especially if they're running head to head, has been to counter program what they think AEW is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way that I think that they could do that would be to just have decent wrestling matches, but
have these things called angles that make sense, have stories and storylines
and things that have a payoff, things like that. I don't know. I do think that it started out like that, and it started out with WWE be like, well, look what we can do.
Yeah.
And then Tony Khan's like, oh, well, look what we can do.
So, yeah, they announced that half an hour overrun. Then Tony Khan says, you know what? We're doing something a little special, too. We're going to do a YouTube buy-in show, hour-long buy-in show, so that we overrun your program there,
right?
WWE. Then WWE fires back and says, oh, by the way, that last half hour, I think was it the full last half hour, commercial free?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to run that last half hour on FS1. We're going to run it commercial free. And they also then threw out that we're going to have Becky Lynch. No, was it Becky and Sasha?
I thought it was.
It was Sasha. Maybe it was Sasha Belair.
I think it was Becky.
It was Sasha for sure. It was Sasha
Becky,
for sure.
Sasha, Bianca. It was a triple threat.
It was a triple threat. I have not watched it.
It was a triple threat, and then they announced that they were going to have Brock and Roman be on the show.
They're pulling out some pretty fucking big names here.
Absolutely,
when it comes down to it, especially for an FS1 deal. And this is not the type of thing that previously on Brock's, I guess, previous contract, you would not have wasted one of his 4 appearances or 5 appearances on an FS1 show, correct?
Correct.
So there's a sign, already that, like, yes, there's that competition. Then, of course, you got Tony Khan firing back saying, well, you know what? The first, half an hour of Rampage will be commercial free as well.
That's right. He's just like, and it all started last week when he's just like, oh, I can't wait to beat your number one show head to head.
Which we all thought, like, Tony, that's pretty, lofty,
it's a bold strategy.
Bold strategy. And in some ways they did, in some ways they didn't. But the gamble seems to have paid off a little bit because in the most important demographic of the 18 to 49, they technically beat SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
And that was news that came out more or less today. Previously, yes, SmackDown did higher numbers. It did more viewers than Rampage did.
Sure.
We all knew that was going to happen. But that all-important 18 to 49 demo was actually beaten. And this is the first time, I believe, that WWE has been beaten head-to-head in something like 18 years, something like that. Like,
dude, Since WCW,
Since
right?
WCW. So that was what year that it folded?
2001.
Yeah. So yeah, we're talking 20
years.
years. We're talking 20 years.
And honestly, like they didn't even shit that last year. They weren't do so. It's probably been close to 21, 22 years.
Probably 22 because 22 or even maybe 23 because the downfall was right around like that 98, right, where WWE started taking the 98, 99, I guess, was really when WCW
after the infamous 83 weeks,
right? Then WWE started winning the war and so on and so forth. So yeah, they really haven't had like that competition, and that they most certainly haven't been beaten in the demo like this in a hell of a long time, and it kind of leads me to one of the Facebook questions that we had, and I think it kind of it'll be good to ask and good segue here, because our good friend, I believe it was our good brother Jay, he asks, seems like WWE's plan to go head-to-head with AEW didn't go so well. What do you guys interpret from the ratings, and what, if anything, do you see the WWE or AEW do to follow up? Interpret from the ratings that AEW's a massive success at the moment, and no one could have predicted that it would have taken off so big so fast. Like, I think this realistically, within less than 2.5 years of this company's birth, they're probably where they thought they would be at year 5. Like they're not.
Yeah, easily at year 5. And that's sort of the thing too, is you look at where they are, and just I'm literally looking at the shelf of AEW figures that I have right now. I'm just like, I haven't bought WWE figures in years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And here we are.
A product that inspires you to buy merch. I mean, when was even the last piece of WWE, like a T-shirt or whatever, that you bought from WWE? It's been a while for both of us.
It's been a while. I mean, I'm going to have to buy one. At least coming up.
What are you gonna? Oh, yeah. You're gonna have to. I know. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, there's not a chance that within the next couple of weeks I won't be on this show wearing the Catch Me on the Flip Side.
That one's the better one of the two.
It is the better one.
Yeah. If you don't know what we're talking about, our good buddy Reggie, who is a friend of the show, good old Reginald.
Right.
He's got his first 2 T-shirts out.
That's right. Got his first couple pieces of merch. I'm very stoked for him. I'm very proud of him.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And here's the thing, and Owen and I were talking about it. It's like, are they the greatest designs? No. Am I still gonna buy one to support my dude? Yes.
Oh, I'll get one.
But the thing is just like, man, it has been so long since WWE, especially main roster, has had a shirt where I'm just like,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I want that. Right.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few, like, I still have it, but it's so uncomfortable to wear just because of like how big the graphic is. But I have that John Cena Pabst Blue Ribbon shirt. Like, I've got.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that one. I thought that was a cool design. And then, I mean, I've got a good handful of them. I've got a couple Jericho ones. I've got, a D-Bry one, and a Yes, and all that. But yeah, like the art on a lot of these shirts these days that WWE's coming out with, it's not like it was. Like they went through a cool period. Like they actually did. Like
they had some really good shirts, and it was kicking out about the time that the Bullet Club hype was really going strong.
100%.
And like, dude, I have bought a ton of NXT shirts, like that fucking Aleister Black shirt, and I've got a Ciampa shirt, and shit, even a Karrion Kross shirt before he got called up to the main roster and turned into the Gladiator.
Which we'll talk about him a little bit later on as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But to answer like the second part of the question, it's like, what do you see WWE and AEW doing like after this, like to sort of I don't know, either in AEW's case, continue on this upward trajectory, and then with WWE, how do they? I mean, you've got to think backstage, like they are not happy about this, and they have to be a little bit worried. This had to have come as a shock, right? Like that they would lose.
I definitely don't think that it was something that they were prepared for.
No, I don't either.
I think that in there, maybe some of the boys were, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe some of the locker room, they were just like, oh,
Mm.
shit, okay. Because, you know, their friends are over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
they watch other, like, wrestlers are wrestling fans. They watch other wrestling too. I just feel like WWE's hubris is going to get the best of them, and we're going to be looking at another 83-week situation.
Yeah,
if not more. Like it might take a minute for it to happen, but dude, look at all of the big names that AEW has right now that were big WWE names, right?
That's true.
Moxley, Jericho, fucking hang on. Who else do I have?
Punk,
here?
Bryan.
Punk. Exactly. Right? Like Punk, Bryan, even Cody.
Cole.
Yeah.
Like
Bay.
Miro. You know,
Yeah.
like guys that, you know, some were, you know, more than others, but all of them were, I would think we'd all consider like, you know, them pretty big draws. Like they were like,
dude, Miro rode in on a tank at WrestleMania.
Yeah. And then they stopped caring about him, obviously.
But we don't have to talk about that. It's still the fact that at one point, Miro was one of the biggest pushed stars in that company.
I mean, he had a streak. I mean, that was the whole point,
right?
You know, like that. And he was one of those guys that I latched onto when I was getting back into WWE. I'm like, oh yeah, this dude.
Yeah,
this is a guy that I want to be into,
dude. And then the whole Rusev Day thing, we're just like, this is amazing.
Seeing some of his, you know, comedic chops as well was also great. So yeah, like
big Bartholomew.
Yeah. And now, and we've got this thing now. Okay, so with WWE, we've got all these stars that moved over, but realistically too, you've got all these kind of not homegrown guys, but this indie talent that is, you know, it took a year or so for a lot of us to get who these people were. Right? Like a lot of people didn't know. A lot of your Jungle Boys and MJFs, and
a lot of people haven't had the pleasure of being as introduced to the indie scene as some of us have been.
100%.
So like for Proud and Powerful, SCU, the Bucks, Jurassic Express,
even Kenny, you know, the mainstream American audience wasn't very particular. You know, most people wouldn't know. They might have heard the name, but I don't think they would have, like, a lot of them would have seen a match. Like your average WWE casual fan probably still doesn't really know who Kenny Omega is.
Right, 100%. Because for some WWE fans, they just can't get into AEW.
And it is bizarre, and I kind of get it. I think it's just maybe it's conditioning, just years, you know, of seeing that same styled product, that same paced product, that, you know, just getting used to it, and that might be, you know, exactly what has happened in that situation. But
it's also a situation of wrestling being so subjective, like art and music, that a match that you and I jizz ourselves over, like the cage match with the Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. I was like, I told a friend of mine who is at work that likes wrestling but doesn't watch AEW, watches WWE. I was like, watch this match. Tell me what you think. And he just couldn't get into it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's bizarre. But that same person is then getting like super stoked on a Randy Orton match, you know, which certainly has its place. But, you know, I'm not calling Randy Orton a bad wrestler. He has his place. He is good at what he does. But what he does bores me. It's too slow. It's too plotting. It's too, like, methodical, if you even want to call it that.
I like Randy when he's in that cerebral mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's in a program with somebody that he actually wants to work with.
Yeah.
But
you
when
can tell
not,
when he's phoning it in. That's for damn sure.
Yes. 100% you can tell when he's phoning it in.
To further answer the question, though, which, you know, trying to, it's just a tough one to answer, because I'll say this. AEW does have room to improve. There are things that need to have, like, there's some, like, backstage segments that don't really need to be there. There's some there's a little fuckery going on with some of the storytelling and some of the, I don't know, just, I guess it's not even really the storytelling. It's more just like I would call it almost filler content, you know?
Right.
So, you know, kind of trimming the fat with AEW is something that I would do, but I don't know that realistically AEW needs to do anything drastically different at all right now. And I think it would probably be to their detriment to do so. I think they're building, you know, the trust in the audience and to honestly just keep doing what they're doing. And when it starts feeling like it's getting a little stale, then switch it up. You don't really need to do that at the moment because the product is so hot right now. On WWE's side, here's what's crazy. They need to make a shit ton of changes.
Yes.
And I mean, we could list them off for days. Yet I don't see them doing any of them.
I don't think they will.
I think
they're going to stay the course.
They're going to stay the course. And you know what? In a way, I get it. I get it because they have this built-in money from the TV deals and the Saudi deal that they really don't need to change. And they are going to, by being so stubborn, that yes, they will probably lose and portions of the audience, and I think that you'll have people jump over to, even if it's not AEW, just not being interested in WWE, and you will have ratings drops. But I think they think that they can afford this, and that what they are going to be doing is essentially, by being so stubborn, establishing that nope, this is just what we do, this is what you get. And this is our product. This is the WWE product. This is how we do it, and that is that. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You might get a little bit of change here and there, but here's the thing: is their knee-jerk reaction was to let's revamp NXT, the one part of WWE's roster that did not need revamping.
Yep.
So once that happened, and to be entirely honest, NXT 2.0 is fucking hot garbage.
Oh, it's hot garbage, but in the most entertaining way for all the wrong reasons. Like it is it is so terrible that it's, I mean, I watch it the same way I would watch a Monday or Saturday morning cartoon. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the same sort of mindset. You enjoy it for what it is. It does have its place. And in a weird way, if that's what they want to market themselves as like, no, we're just home of the big men, 3-minute matches that have no substance, that have, you know, that have all these goofy characters and, you know, flashy lights or whatever, then fine. That's what you do. Yep. If that's what you want, that's what you want. But yeah, it's what?
You okay over there?
Sorry, no, I don't know.
It's definitely one of those things where I can see NXT 2.0 actually working out completely in their favor and being, it will alienate the NXT core audience, but it will attract a newer, younger audience.
And that's, and I actually, like, we can rag on it all we want. I actually think that they probably made a pretty smart decision with what the new direction of NXT 2.0.
And to not be focusing so much on independent talent.
Yep.
And reintroducing
that portion of the audience has already made their decision and jumped ship anyway.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
You know, that's the first war that they lost, right? So, or the first battle of the war.
Soon as AEW like signed all of those super high-end indie talents.
Right. Your
And
Jungle
then
Boys, your Darby Allins, your even some bigger names than
Santana, Ortiz, Lucha Brothers, fucking
FTR.
Orange.
FTR was a big one in that weird world. Even though they weren't
was a big one.
An indie thing, but they appeal to that audience.
They do, but where AEW does it right is they don't just take anybody from WWE. they take the people who have a buzz and that the audience wants to cheer and wants more of.
Yep.
They take those people and they're just like, here you go.
Here you go. And we're going to use them right this time, and you're going to see how this, like, it can work. For instance, I'm happy that they never took Matt Cardona, because Matt Cardona wasn't going to work there, right? You know, he had to go do his
that he did.
Yeah.
Fine. But his work in GCW
and his reinvention of his whole being is amazing.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
Who would have thought 5 years ago
when he won, whenever he won the IC title? Remember that?
And his dad was in the Who would have thought that fucking Zack Ryder would then become the most hated heel
in a deathmatch company,
potentially on the majority of the independent scene, right?
Yeah.
I'd say a lot of GCW's audience sort of speaks for the rest of the indie crowd.
I think at this point, you know, with Ring of Honor kind of falling out of favor, and I know they're on that weird border of being an indie and not, I think, with Ring of Honor. They've always kind of like, you know, been on that, touting that line. And with them kind of, you know, just not being really in the headlines at the moment, GCW has had, I think, like one of the best years, you know, as a promotion other than AEW.
And they're getting a lot of publicity because AEW lets their people wrestle there.
And it's such a great lesson for any promotion that if this is the way it needs to be, if it's not going to conflict with the dates and you have obligations here first, do whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
You
a
know?
Rising tide sinks all ships, or floats all ships.
Raises all ships. Yeah, that whole
thing. Whatever.
Yeah, no, we know.
But I think just the fact that you can see all of these promotions working together with each other to create the best storyline overall is so much more refreshing for me than watching WWE do the same old tired bullshit.
And that's it. Like, when WWE switches it up, they do it for 2 weeks. And they give you something promising and really exciting for a couple of weeks. And then they're like, just kidding.
And then here's Goldberg and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah. You know, it was the Finn Balor push. Like, could he? Couldn't he? Is he going to take it off Roman? And then and what happened with that? Exactly. I'm not going to say.
They made me sad with that. That's what they did.
I'm not going to say I'm excited for this crown jewel, but I am interested in if this is less of a throwaway than it has been in the past. They've always treated these shows as glorified house shows, and I think that this year might be a little bit different. We're out of the pandemic. It's the first time back in Saudi Arabia since then. We've got the, you know, the competition that's so strong with AEW. I can actually see them doing some weird shock twists, turns, something along the lines.
I think there's only one thing that it can be.
It's Brock.
Yep.
Right. And Brock taking it from Roman. Yep. And there's something big that will 100% happen in that match. I am interested to see how that turns out. And I'm actually interested in the match, even though we have seen it a bunch of times before. We will have never seen it like this.
And I don't know why or how really over the last, like, that last segment that they did on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Got me.
Right.
Like Roman being
left you
super
guessing.
cocky. Dude, and the best part is it was a cocky prick against a cocky prick.
Yeah.
And it's just like Roman thinking he's got Brock's number, and Brock's just like, it's cute. And just like, dude, I don't know.
I've never liked Brock so much.
Right.
You know, I've never been.
A 3-minute segment turned me so much more. I haven't been this much of a fan of Brock Lesnar since 2003.
I mean, yeah. Was that like Guerrero days? Like that's
that was when Brock was actually putting on good matches and like wrestling like with Angle
and
yep. that whole SmackDown era. And just like, I'm curious to see. And then, like you mentioned, some of Heyman's tweets, like he fucking tweeted earlier, he's just like, I will be walking down the ramp with the reigning defending Universal Champion, and rest assured I will be leaving with the Universal Champion. But he never specifies.
No, but that's genius. It's genius.
It's Heyman.
Keeps the intrigue. Keeps the intrigue. It keeps me guessing. My heart probably does tell me that somehow Roman, like, there's a screwy thing, and Roman walks out with the belt and with Heyman there by his side as well. But I don't know. I kind of wish it would go the other way at this point. I think that they might need to take the belt off Roman and have that feud all over again for a little while. Because honestly, this might be more just out of necessity at this point than anything else. Because who else is a believable challenger for Roman other than Drew going over to SmackDown, which we've seen before?
Boring.
Yeah, I mean, I really do like Drew McIntyre as a performer, but the way he's being presented and what his what he's devolved into at the moment, I could care less.
I could give less than a fuck.
And there's no way in hell they take it off Big E, right? Like, there's no way in hell.
That's so stupid if they do.
Right.
Because, like, it's already stupid that they had New Day together for, like, a hot minute, and now they're just like, nope, separate brands again. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah, that was dumb. And my thing with Drew is, you're trying to, like, give him a refresh. Well, he's been a loser for quite a while. He's going to lose to Big E and walk into SmackDown as a loser. In my mind, he has no right challenging for a top-tier title.
Who the fuck do you have? Okay, say Lowell Roman wins.
Sure.
Who is the challenger next? Who's the next challenger on SmackDown against Roman?
I mean,
that you're gonna believe.
I mean, if there's a few people that could theoretically push into a program like that, but the heel face dynamic's all wonky. They don't know how to build a face to save their life, and that's half the issue.
Well, okay, so Ricochet's over on SmackDown now.
Okay, yeah, that'll happen.
I mean, they gave him a match against Brock, and he lost in 30 seconds. But that's also the thing is, like, they don't have anybody. They don't have anybody.
That's why I think it is going to be Drew. I think that's really one of your only logical choices.
And then Drew loses to Roman, and then what? Right, because they're not going to do the whole, like, the rumor and innuendo is that they're not going to do the whole Rock thing until next WrestleMania, not this coming WrestleMania, but the WrestleMania after that when they're in Hollywood.
Which would make sense.
Obviously makes sense.
And even then, Rock's not taking the belt off Roman.
No,
that's
a program that doesn't need the belt at all.
I think there's a lot of people that really truly feel that that's going to happen. I'm like, no way in hell. This is to put the whole program with that. The whole point of that program is that now he's the head of the table, and that's like, like he's taking it from The Rock in a sense, and it's a passing of their lineage and all of that sort of thing.
The Rock's going to look super strong in the build up to it, but then at the end of that fucking match, he's going to take the 1, 2, 3 from Roman,
and it will end with a handshake and The Rock raising Roman's arm once again. Like that will 100% be the case.
Yep.
And that's why I do think if you're waiting that long to do the Rock thing, you might have Roman drop that belt and win it back, maybe even more than once. But at least once. And the realistic thing would be to just strap up Brock for a while so we can get further down the line with that whole story until you can build someone credible. Because you've not done a good job with it.
No, I don't feel like there's anybody on either roster, really.
I mean, I would say Seth, if he wasn't so great with being, a heel now. And
in this program with
Edge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say that, but that doesn't seem to fit. I mean, I guess you could go heel Seth, versus, I don't know, maybe. I don't want to see. I really don't want to see a goddamn face Seth again, though. He's a long way off from that.
But this is also the thing is, we've long passed the point of true heels and faces, right? Like, you'll have somebody playing the heel and the face in the match, but as far as the actual,
no, you're right.
is he a good guy? Is it bad?
Yeah.
Like, everybody's riding shades of gray now.
No, that's fair. Did Lashley end up staying on Raw? I think he did, right?
Lashley is staying on Raw, and he is going against Dadberg at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, which, oh boy, that's going to be an absolute mess. It's no holds barred, so hopefully just the Hurt Business get involved, and it's an excuse then that they can give so Bobby Lashley looks strong and Goldberg can go away. That's my only hope with that.
Fingers crossed.
Match of the night will likely be the women's match, I'm guessing. Becky, Bianca, Sasha for the SmackDown Women's Championship. That's my pick for probably going to be match of the night.
As far as work rate matches, I think Ali and Mansoor is going to be match of the night.
That's actually a really good shout. And the only problem with that one is we know the outcome before it starts. And that's why it will take away from some of the drama.
Yeah.
Mansoor will win because it's Saudi Arabia, and Mansoor always wins in Saudi Arabia. And
absolutely.
That is part of the deal.
What if he doesn't?
And I hope that they're that brave. I really do, because that would, it will be something that will constantly be taking me out of the match because I'll be thinking about it the whole time. I know for a fact I will have a hard time unless they do just a really good job of suspending my disbelief that Ali can win it, right?
Right.
So, but I do agree that work rate wise, that can be a contender for match of the night. I am still stumped as to what they do with the women's match. If Becky retains, if part of me feels like Sasha takes it.
I think Becky has to lose.
I feel like she does too, but I don't think it's to Bianca. I think it's to Sasha.
Really not sure. Like that's another one where I'm just like,
yeah. And we don't, by the way, folks, we don't do actual, like, I guess, official Ohno wrestling predictions for Crown Jewel. We never have, because we'll see after this one if they treat it like a real pay-per-view or if they treat it more, again, like a house show. But they've not ever been they've not been canon. They've not been canon.
It's a special event. Yeah, they gave Braun a green belt.
Right, that we never saw again ever.
No.
They gave Undertaker a weird trophy one time. I don't know what happened to that, Like, they're half canon. Sometimes some of the stuff sticks, some of it doesn't. But, you had...
It depends on if the old people have a shitty match or not.
Correct. RK Bro and against AJ and Omos, again, I don't really need to see that.
I don't either. I think they put the belts back on AJ and Omos.
That would not surprise me.
Because I don't think that they're ready to split those two up because Omos isn't ready for singles.
Yeah, whereas they've been ready for forever to split, Randy and Riddle up. So
they can split them up anytime.
Exactly.
Like, it's a good gimmick, But
we already said Big E and Drew. Like, Big E's gonna retain that. That's the only logical thing. I mean, unless they're complete idiots. Goldberg, Lashley. Lashley's got her, stand tall in that one. Another one, that could be a real banger is Finn Balor and Xavier Woods at the finals for King of the Ring.
Yep. But it's going to be King Xavier.
I disagree.
I
think they're going to break everybody's hearts, and I think you're going to get heel.
I mean, they very well could.
I think you're going to do heel. You're going to do a real big heel turn with Finn. And you're going to have, because I think they realize that he's in need of some lovin's after that Roman, rope break bullshit. So I
love how they never acknowledge
not
that.
Once.
They're just like, oh, nope, just happened.
So I guess your rings are just unsafe, WWE.
You should have given us something and then done a rematch.
Something, yes. And it's
And
fine
honestly,
if Finn Balor doesn't win, I guess, but just not like that.
well, why did you shouldn't have had him be the demon in the first match.
No, that was the problem with it.
Like, have the rope break with him not as the demon, and then in the second match have him be the demon. And come on.
Or just not ruin the demon at all if you're intent on keeping the belt on Roman.
Pretty well shit out now.
Yeah, I think they're going to be cruel because that's what WWE is to a lot of their wrestlers. And
that's true.
Xavier's going to have probably the match of his career because it is with Finn. And I think the two of them will have an absolute banger of a match, but there will be some darkness in Balor, which maybe is, stems from the bullshit that happened before, right?
What if they go the opposite way and they have Xavier be the one that works heel and wants it so bad that he goes to a dark place?
Maybe he does. And if they were to, again, I think that's a little too brave for WWE, but if they were to do it, I'd be all about it. And I like you, I think most of the, internet wrestling community, we all want Xavier to do it. And
it should be King Woods.
He's the only guy that can pull off that gimmick if they're insistent on doing that gimmick. I don't want to see Balor in a crown, for Christ's sake. But
oh my God.
Yeah. But I want to see Xavier in a crown.
Gaudy custom crown and the scepter and the whole 9 yards.
He'll do something with Francesca, and that becomes the scepter, becomes the, something like that.
Or it's like Queen Francesca or something like that.
Something.
And in the way that did wonders for Booker T to be King Booker.
Yeah.
It would do so much good.
It can work the same
for Woods. And run a program where Woods' ego gets out of control and him and Kofi have to do a match, and then Kofi beats him and brings him back to normal or whatever. There's ways to go with that. Build some depth into these characters.
100%.
They have it.
Yeah, the whole booking of both the whatever they're calling the Queen's Crown tournament and then the King of the Ring, the whole booking of both sides has been very sort of strange.
Very strange.
I like where we got eventually with Woods and Balor. I like that as the finals, but I'm sad that we didn't get the Woods Kofi match as well, because that was it seems like a missed opportunity to me.
I think a lot of people feel the same way. I feel the same way. I'm just why did we not? No. Okay.
But the men's side isn't even close to being as baffling as the women's.
Dude, the women's have gotten combined for all of their matches the same length of time as one of the men's matches.
I think on one show it was 3 matches was less time than Roman Reigns' entrance.
Jesus Christ!
I think that's the stat that I heard.
Oh my God!
If it was at least 2 matches, I think it was actually 3, and altogether they got less time than Roman's entrance.
God damn, man!
Yeah, that's what you're dealing with.
That's the shit that I'm talking about. Why are we doing this?
Why have a division? Why even bother? At a certain point, why even bother?
Why even bother? And if that's how you're going to be, stop using all of your prime talented women. Look, I like Piper Niven. I'm sorry, Dewdrop, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But beating Shayna Baszler?
That was the wrong call. If you would have booked it correctly, I could have seen a Dewdrop Baszler final. That would have actually probably worked quite well. And because you've got both sides of a very hypothetical winner on either side. You can justify either one, right? With the new upcoming talent versus the Baszler, who's been really kind of robbed of so many opportunities and kind of,
Absolutely, yeah.
Should be further up the card really than she is. So and Queen Baszler and the whole ace, the Queen of Spades and all that stuff.
The Queen of Spades, yeah.
That all fits so nicely, so that could have worked. So you could make that argument. But now we've got Doudrop and Zelina Vega, in the finals. And
yeah,
does
and
anybody think that Zelina Vega has the slightest chance in the world? So I feel like it's a given right now that the Doudrop's going to take that, right?
I'm going with Zelina Vega.
Really?
Just because of the sheer, because she has been done really dirty lately.
Yeah.
Right? Between the matches at Madison Square Garden.
Has she won a match yet, apart from the one in the Eliminator tournament? I think that was her first win, or maybe second.
Yeah, only a couple. And then she gets jobbed out to terrible people. But she was coming back to stay in the same company that her husband was in, and then their husband got released. So, fucking throw the girl a bone.
Throw the girl a bone.
Let her be a cunty queen.
And that's the one thing. You're absolutely right, though. Yeah, when you look at the actual gimmick itself and how they could use the queen thing, she would be perfect at that. She has the personality, and she would rule as that character. But
I think that alone is. Look, I don't mean any disrespect to Doudrop, but I don't want to see another King Mabel.
And I understand what you're saying with that. I just think that this Doudrop character, they might have recognized it is so terrible. They need to do something character-wise, and this queen thing could maybe transition her out of that. So that's one of my only
that's pretty tall order, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough to, and that's why it's real tough to call too, because both of them need something so that they are not just fucking floundering in that women's division.
Yep. Yeah. And they need to make a big deal. It doesn't matter who it is. They need to make a big deal and push whoever is that winner.
Yes.
They need to get them in that upper mid card, and they need to be, because they are in need of those stars right now. They've got WWE on the women's side on both rosters actually have a great top of the card with some of those women, but we're tired of seeing them all the time. It's like the same
I was literally
going to
say
matches.
There are two wrestlers, one in each company, that I am sick to death of seeing.
Charlotte, number one. Guess Becky?
No. In AEW.
Oh, in AEW.
Yeah, one in each company.
Oh, one in each company. I thought you. Okay, you're probably sick to death in AEW. You're not already sick of Britt Baker, are you?
No.
Okay,
no,
good.
I'm all right with Britt.
And women. You're talking about a woman.
No, this is a man. This is in the men's roster.
Cody.
Huh?
Cody.
Cody's not around enough for me to be sick of him. No, he just came back.
All right, go. Shoot.
Punk.
Yeah.
Already sick of Punk.
Yeah?
Already sick of him.
I'm not sick of him yet.
I don't want to watch him having velocity matches.
That's Sunday Night Heat matches for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. And he's having shitty Sunday Night Heat matches at that. He's not in ring shape.
He definitely needs, it's definitely showing at this point now. And he will get there, I feel like. But
yeah,
it's just sort of the directionless vibe of the character that's the problem more than anything with him.
Yeah. And it's the fact that he's just like, I'm still the best in the world. I'm like,
no,
you're not.
You're not.
You're not. You're not even in the top 10 in the company.
That's accurate. That is an accurate statement. Yeah, I could easily find 10 other wrestlers that are better than you right now in
Absolutely.
AEW. Yeah.
Do I think that he will get there? Yes, but for now, I'm just like, you don't need to bring him out and have him cut the same promo that he's always cut. And then here comes somebody who wants to challenge Punk, and he's just like, all right, fine, we're going to have a match of honor, whatever. Fucking whatever.
Yeah. Do something already. Get on with it, as Monty Python used to say.
Get
on with it.
Yeah. That's what I'm fucking saying.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, get on with it.
And the long boys look stupid.
The long boys do look stupid. If you're gonna continue to wear the long boys, fucking don't be gassed after 2 minutes in the ring.
Exactly. Give us something to. Yeah, that was a funny thing too, because there was the whole Twitter exchange between him and Roman and all that stuff, and Roman
Oh God,
Roman was just like, "Yeah, I could kick the shit out of you," type thing, like on a shoot. And you know what? Like, yeah, Punk has his like little UFC, back history and training and stuff, but that didn't really serve him too well in actual octagon, did it? So I kind of gotta overlook that. And in real life, Roman would he would destroy Punk, right?
Dude, on a shoot.
Yeah, on a shoot.
Roman would fucking murder Punk.
I kind of want to do this. Maybe we'll do it on a future podcast, but I kind of want to do it's kind of like we do versus on Ohno radio show. I kind of want to do just shoots between wrestlers, of as that'd be a fun one, right? Like
that would be awesome. Yeah, it definitely would be.
And yeah, that's the first one technically, Punk Roman. And yeah, Roman, you 100%, you would destroy old man.
I'd give it to him, man. I definitely give it to him because, could Punk fight? Sure, but Roman has stamina.
Yep.
And he's got
size,
a longer
weight,
reach.
Weight, reach, all that stuff. Like, I don't see Punk being able to get him to the ground.
No, and Punk's not a striker. He's a grappler.
He's a grappler, exactly. So if you can't get Roman down, I don't think Roman has a chance.
Dude, I just picture Roman getting a good, solid right hand into the side of Punk's head, and he just fucking crumbles.
Yeah. I think something like that would indeed happen. The last match, by the way, on Crown Jewel that we didn't talk about was Edge versus Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell.
Ooh, but let me tell you, I do have a boner for that match.
I think that this is going to over-deliver. I think that this one will actually and I might be the same way with Edge as you are with Punk. I'm really over.
I get that.
I'm really kind of over Edge in general, but this has the potential to turn that around for me. And
of the last few weeks, Edge's promo game, yes. I'm like,
he stepped it up.
Fuck, you still got it.
Yeah, he stepped it up, and I'll give credit where credit's due. I think that this one, kind of like you said with Roman and Brock, right? Like just this one promo and what have you. Like all of a sudden, I'm interested in this match, whereas maybe a couple weeks ago I really was not. And this has to be the one I think for me where Edge goes over.
Yeah.
He's lost too many times in big matches. If they, he's I think signed a pretty lengthy deal. I think they're going to want to keep him pretty, hot for as long as they can. I don't know if they can do. I don't know if he can take
Seth
another
can
loss.
Take a loss. Seth can take a loss to a legend
all day long. It'll be an honor in a sense, and
he would.
He'll treat that the right way, and both of them have had, Edge has had some good Hell in a Cell matches. I'm trying to think of the only Seth Rollins.
The only one that comes to mind being the one with the Fiend that made us all throw up.
Yes, exactly. I was about to say they both had good.
Hold on. I'm gonna look that up and see if he's had any other ones. The only note that I have, by the way, just says Ryzen.
Oh yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, what that means, everybody, is that we're hoping to talk to AEW wrestler Ryzen here on the show in the near future.
First of all, we saw Ryzen at the AEW.
Oh, you fell in love with him
immediately.
Nerd boner.
Yeah,
demon boner.
First of all, the way to my heart is to have a gimmick in any way related to Satan.
Yeah.
In any way related to Satan, and Ryzen's just out there with pentagram on his crotch, fucking the one weird eye, and he's like Reverend Ryzen, and I'm like, this is my dude.
Yeah, it's your dude.
Yeah,
and he looks like he's from Power Man 5000, and you have a soft spot for that trash metal.
I do have a soft spot for trashy new metal.
Yeah.
Won't even lie. Come on, man. I'm 38 years old. That is my shit.
That is your shit.
The first concert, true to life, true story. The very first concert I went to on my own with no adult supervision.
Oh,
Power Man 5000.
of course.
Opening for Kid Rock.
I was gonna guess Limp Bizkit, but it was Kid Rock. All right.
But of course it was Kid Rock.
Michigan.
Yeah.
So yeah. Did you find if Seth's had any more? I feel like
Seth
he did,
Rollins
right?
has had 3 Hell in a Cell matches in WWE against Dean Ambrose, Kevin Owens, and Bray Wyatt.
There you go. I can't really remember the previous 2 before the Bray Wyatt one, if I'm being honest, but I'm sure they were better than the Bray Wyatt one. And honestly, with those 2 opponents, they were probably pretty decent.
Yeah, and I think that they were just like so long ago that we couldn't remember them, honestly. Like, I think the Kevin Owens one was good, if I remember correctly.
I have vague memories of it for sure.
I think that was
Seth
the
was
Hell in a
face
Cell
at the time, I want to say. And
yeah,
KO
and I think
was
it was
heel.
the Hell in a Cell when they did like 4 or 5 Hell in a Cell
Too
matches.
many in one night.
Yeah, and we're just like, I've had enough of this.
Was that the first women's Hell in a Cell one too?
Yes.
Yeah, it would have been for sure. Yeah, no, that checks out. That seems like that would make sense.
So,
but yeah.
And before anybody like gets all up my ass, like, yeah, I'm still. Am I bored with Punk? Yes. Am I booing Punk? No.
Exactly.
I'm still like, oh, okay, like because I see how excited everybody else in the crowd is, and like when wrestling fans are excited,
it's a fun thing.
It's a fun thing.
It's
right.
It's as much. It's Fozzy Judas, man. It's
3 times today I've listened to that song, by the way.
It'll get you.
Every time. And it's come up 3 times in shuffle on random completely. So apparently I've listened to it a lot because the algorithm is just like, you love Chris Jericho.
You want this song right now. And you're like, yes, I do actually. So good job.
How did you know?
Can we talk a little bit about this though? Something that, it kind of related to the Punk thing, and it was such a big deal when we had Punk debut, then the Adam Cole, and then the Bryan Danielson debuts, all so close to each other, right? And I think a lot of people like compared the Punk and Bryan signings because they were so closely rumored to be joining together and all that stuff, and I feel like it's been kind of a night and day presentation between the two. Yeah. And a guy that could arguably make the best in the world statement right now is Daniel Bryan. Because if I'm being honest, he's doing the best work of his goddamn career.
Oh my God. Well, and that promo that he cut about he's like, I am a wrestler. I love to wrestle and I am here to goddamn wrestle. I was just like,
that's what we needed. That's what we needed. That's
like, where the fuck have you been?
Yeah. Well, we know where he's been, and we know he's been restricted from doing a lot of this stuff.
I mean, okay, in fairness, right? Like lying to WWE about his concussion history and them not trusting him.
That's fair.
Fair.
That is fair. They allowed him to come back, and he had a good run. I'm not saying that, did. But it's nothing like this. This is just like next level shit, man.
Dude, every match that he has had has been better than his best match in WWE.
And yes, you're 100% correct. There's not even an argument to that. And the amount of the little tweaks to his character where he is this just he's a badass now. There's no fucking happy smiley Daniel Bryan.
He's the dragon again.
This guy is scary as shit. He looks like he's I don't know. It seems like he's put on upper body weight. Like he seems buffer. Like he definitely seems like he looks fan-fucking-tastic.
He really does. He really does.
And yeah, like the little tweaks to the character, the story arc that they can tell with him, and eventually the, like, Punk doesn't need to be in the title picture anytime soon. Daniel Bryan will be in that title picture before you goddamn know it.
Yep. And
Bryan
Bryan
Danielson, sorry everyone.
Whatever.
That
guy. The guy will be AEW champion.
Yeah. I just like to call him Danny Bandana.
In the USA.
Yeah.
Renee Beret.
And Renee Beret. He's a good one too, yeah.
Danny Bandana and Renee Beret.
Yeah. So the other thing too with AEW at the moment is that there is so much going on, and it was kind of a topic of conversation in our group over the week. Deuce was, kind of a little confused. It's like, okay, well, it's great that, Hangman just won, the poker chip to get his shot back. And I don't know if you saw it, Duncan, but did you watch that promo, that Hangman promo that he cut?
I did.
What a star-defining building moment, if there ever was one.
Oh, my God.
That was, like, if they ever second-guess, anybody ever second-guessed, like, that dude could be your top babyface, well, there's no more second-guessing. Like,
Absolutely not.
The crowd reactions speak for themselves every time that guy that music hits. And dude,
the
like
cowboy shit chants.
The cowboy shit promo, which this is what this was fan-fucking-tastic. And I love the little thing that he threw in at the end. He's like, and I know one thing's for damn sure, at the end of Full Gear, I'll be leaving with tears in my eyes, one way or another.
Right.
Whether they're tears of joy or, sadness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, just like that whole... It felt like the perfect way to get to the end of this cowboy, the story that we've been telling with the anxious millennial cowboy, or however you want to put it.
Right.
And we're finally here. We're finally at the point where it's like he's been able to believe in himself again, and we can believe in him, and we've got him to this point. He's got to win it now, right?
Dude, I would think so.
It has to be the time this time.
It has to be. Because, okay, so Kenny has not been coming to the ring with the AAA Championship.
And he's got a match for that in the next couple of days, so I think that he might be dropping that very soon. I think Kenny needs a break. And I think that he might be written off of TV for a while following this loss with Hangman, and possibly a slight, change up of the gimmick. I mean, if he comes back in 6 months or something, he could probably be face again, like you could do something like that.
What if, I really wonder if it's going to be an Adam Cole payoff.
I think there might be something there.
With him getting sort of kicked out of the Elite.
The Elite. I can see them going that direction, but I think the whole Elite disbands, because I think the money is in Adam Cole being a top babyface as well in due time. So
could be.
I
feel like they're gonna ride out the super click for a little while.
Yeah, there's just so much, and this is the point that that Deuce was making, and it is very true. Like, you just had Hangman win this opportunity. This one-off opportunity at the pay-per-view for a title shot. But then you have this Eliminator tournament going on pretty much at the same time. And how do you do, like, this Eliminator tournament whilst you just did the chip thing, and at the same time you're having Bryan Danielson build up his wins in the ranks?
Oh, my God,
that
dude.
He'll be a legitimate threat, too. So, in a way, like, I would assume it's, looking at the brackets, we get Moxley and Bryan Danielson in the finals of that Eliminator tournament. Which, fuck yes. Give me that.
What a heater of a match that would be.
Yeah. I think Danielson wins.
I would tend to agree.
And I think that then that puts him, for a world title shot next after Hangman wins. So then we have this weird little thing. Do we do a match? Do we do a feud in between with Hangman and someone else? Or do we go straight into a Danielson Hangman feud in which you definitely would have to have Danielson, I think, work heel? And as much as we're all going to be excited for Hangman to win this belt when he does, if he does, I don't think it's a long reign, especially if he wins it right now. I think it's a next big opponent drops the belt type reign.
I could definitely see that. Like, he's ready for a short reign. I don't think he's ready for the long haul yet.
And I think part of that will also culminate further down the line, and he will become the first 2-time AEW World Champion.
I can see that as well.
That would kind of make sense to me. So I think we might have a situation where we have Danielson taking it off Hangman very early on. Or Cole.
Right.
You could go that route. But then, there's also guys like goddamn Miro right now.
Yeah.
Which, did you watch that promo?
Miro's mad at God.
Miro is now mad at God.
Yeah.
What a cool little twist in the character, because somehow he's now even scarier. And that we don't need. He's ashamed, Duncan. He can't go bang his wife. He cannot go bang Lana or CJ. He can't go bang CJ because he's ashamed because of what the Lord has forsaken him.
That's right, because God has forsaken him.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I think he threatened to beat up God. I think he threatened to beat up God.
First of all, Vince did it first.
That's true. That's true. But yeah,
Welcome, Jack. Welcome to the show.
Who's in there?
Jack.
Jack's on the show. I thought you were talking about the chat room. No one's in there. That's just a dog.
No, nobody's in there.
The dog.
It's just Jack.
Jack, I like how he leans over the couch like wrestlers do when they're taunting the crowd on the outside. They put their arms.
Yeah, on the ropes.
Yeah, on the ropes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's his couch.
No, it is. You can tell. Dude,
yeah.
He's a beefy motherfucker.
He is. He's 75 pounds now. It's pretty much the same size as my wife. It's hilarious.
That is funny. But yeah, Miro's promo, great. We talked a little bit about, Bryan and just the top form that he's been on, but that match with Suzuki was just so cool on so many levels.
Oh, it was such a good match.
To give it away for free, though. Away for free. That is pay-per-view quality without a shadow of a doubt.
That's a pay-per-view dream match right there.
Yeah. I guess my question, stemming back to the Miro thing and even the Moxley thing, is kind of what do you do with some of these guys? Because you've got so many top guys at the moment.
Right.
You could theoretically have a third belt for the men. Unless you could do it, unless they all maybe the trios thing sort of happens, and then that can kind of take some of that weight, that burden off that upper mid card scene. So you kind of have that, but I wouldn't mind seeing a Miro Moxley feud, kind of again. I
wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't mind seeing honestly, dude. I wouldn't mind seeing Miro versus pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
Dude, him and Kingston was fucking fire.
It was.
I would love to see him and Jericho.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's not a bad shout either. And I like some of the stuff that even they're doing with American Top Team and Men of the Year. I think that's finally started working. It definitely didn't work for me in the early stages, but it's finally there. And it's getting really surprisingly crazy good ratings, and it just goes to show because I'm not a UFC fan. I don't. Nope. I will watch a big fight here and there and on occasion, and I can get some enjoyment from it.
Sure, but you're not going to go out of your way for it.
Yeah, so I don't know a lot of the names. I mean, I sort of familiar with what's this goddamn? Now I've forgotten. That's how familiar
Masvidal.
Yeah, exactly, Masvidal. And it's one of those things. Well, that just shows you how familiar I am and how much it sticks in my head. But it's getting crazy good ratings. I can see why they're doing it. I don't hate it. And I think, we've got to see Jericho get his head kicked in a few more times, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But like,
well, I think he's gonna get his head kicked in, and that'll lead to him being off TV for a while, so that he can go
haven't we
be
been
on
saying
tour
that
in the
for?
UK.
We've been saying that for like 9 months with Jericho.
That's true. I think I just want him to go on tour with his shitty band.
Yeah. We unfortunately aren't getting. We're not getting a Jericho at our Dynamite coming up on Saturday. That's for sure, because the Jericho Cruise is happening in a couple of days before it. So there is actually a decent list of wrestlers that we won't be seeing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, off the top of my head, no Jericho, no Cassidy, because they're teaming up together on the cruise. I forgot who they're against now. But I remember Chris Statlander will not be at this Dynamite. Good handful more. But it's okay, because the roster is so goddamn deep anyway. And I'm excited for, the 3 matches that have been announced. Maybe there's more by the time you hear this, but I know it was, we've got first round of the tournaments. We've got Kingston Archer.
Yep, which is going to be a fucking hoss fight.
And I could see that one going either way. Gut tells me it's Archer, probably advancing.
Yeah.
I kind of prefer it would if it were the other way around, but that's,
I know.
But you know what? I've been like really, especially after we saw him at Dark, I think we both got turned around a little bit on Archer as well, and saw how
dude, he
impressive.
Really turned us around at Dark, especially like just throwing that jobber out of the tunnel and just
he's got what Vince called like the airport wrestler quality, right? Like he passes the airport test.
He's got airport test. Yeah, he passes the airport test.
And you see that in person with a guy like that, you're like, yep, you got it.
100%.
Shit. I think we've got, is it a Jade Cargill match announced? No.
Did they announce it? I'm on the AEW tickets website, and the only thing that they have announced on there is Archer and Kingston in round 1 of the Eliminator tournament.
Oh no, we got we got Bryan Danielson
and Dustin
Rhodes. Obviously, that's going to be a Danielson win. Also, could be a really, really solid match. Really solid match. Dustin can still go. And then the third match that we've obviously got is Cody Malachi Black 3.
Right.
Which I'm torn on.
I am too. I know I'm going to boo the shit out of Cody.
Oh, I know that too. And he's playing into it now though so well. Like he knows. He knows. What he's
is
doing.
Homelander.
He is a heel. He is a fucking heel, and he just won't acknowledge it, which makes him more heelish. And I love him for doing every bit of it. So but I am torn with how they play this one out. This is interesting because with Cody losing the first 2, the quick jump to conclusions with this
is that Cody would take this one.
Correct. First off, that's not what they should do. And second, I don't think they will. I think this is all being set up for a true double turn.
Well,
they're already kind of there anyway. Turning the characters ever so slightly can make this pan out. But I also think that there's some shit that's going to happen with Malachi and the Nightmare Factory and Arn in particular. And it's going to be Arn that possibly costs Cody the match or something of that sort.
Like, what if Arn is already turned?
That was my thing, too, because that's kind of fits in with what I was spouting about in my drunk thoughts to you the other night.
Yeah.
So it was just like, what if the House of Black is actually the Factory? And he's taken – the Factory is now the House of Black. And Arn has been poisoned because, that's seemingly what he's kind of doing, right? And now we've got a kind of infiltration of this House of Black thing into the Factory. Cody's then left alone. that's going to generate, I guess, babyface sympathy that you don't really want right now.
No, but
So
I loved your idea about God, what did you say? The dog is distracting me. You were just like, I think Arn cost Cody the match. And I was just like, yeah. Like, that would be fucking ace.
Yeah, something like that kind of needs to happen. Or, you know what it might end up being is something along the lines where Cody actually snaps on Arn, making him further a heel, but that snapping on Arn leaves the door open for a Malachi victory type thing, you know? What have they named the Black Mass in AEW yet? I don't think they have.
I think it's still the Black Mass.
I don't think it is. No, it's definitely not the Black Mass. I don't think they can call it that. I'm pretty damn sure. I don't think that they have named it. It's just like, it's
calling it that
kick, that kick or something. Yeah. There's gotta be something, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, come up with something. Just, the roundhouse of black. God damn it. Like,
the T-bone of black.
Something like that. But yeah, no, like that's we're looking at a pretty good show, I think. And those 3 matches alone, maybe there's more that will, there definitely will be more, but we'll hear about them typically in the next, couple of days. And it'll be interesting too because of course they already taped the Rampage, this Friday's Rampage last week in Miami, so we won't be getting that at our show, which is fine because it's too long anyway.
Correct.
But some of that might inform what happens, of course, on Dynamite the following night, and so on and so forth. So I can see that being the case. And then last week too, with was it Dynamite or was it Rampage? I think my week's all fucked up because of my vacation. But of course, we have new AAA Tag Team Champions.
Oh my God, I wanted to talk about that. I just want to say
bizarre on so many levels.
Okay, so I loved when they were just like a masked luchador team known only to Andrade. And everybody, like myself included, I was just like, oh, it's going to be Los Ingobernables.
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, when Los Ingobernables showed up in Mexico and like basically challenged Penta and Phoenix for those belts before, I think it was Rampage.
Yeah, I think it was.
Before that, then I was like, okay, maybe not. And then Andrade was just like, it is not.
No, sorry.
Ingobernables.
It was definitely Dynamite because I remember. Yeah, no, it was definitely Dynamite. I know what I was doing on Friday.
Either way.
Yeah.
So
it's because Dynamite being on a Saturday throws it all off.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought it was the one at the end of the week, but yes, that would have been Dynamite.
That's why. Yeah.
So, that being the case, and like when it came out, it's just like, okay. And then they did dude, I love that the most anti lucha style tag team is now the tag team champions of one of the oldest lucha libre promotions in the world.
You're 100% right. And this is what I guess is so confusing about it from a lot of people's perspective is very much what you just said, number one. Number two, like, are you damaging your lineage a little bit here? And are you damaging, like the Lucha Bros have had those belts for, I believe, over 2 years or right around 2 years. Like, it's
they've had them for a very long time.
Lengthy title reign.
Yeah.
To do it so unceremoniously too on a AEW show in America, in like with this particular act as FTR doing it, and I can honestly say that this is probably the start of a very long rivalry, which has already begun, and they had a kind of a stinker of a match a few months back. So, not a stinker, but nothing like you would
No,
have
but
expected.
it did not live up to the expectations that we had of what that match should have been.
So this maybe AAA is smart enough to know that this is like heat magnet, especially in their promotion, for these gringos to come down here, win like this type of, like all this type of stuff. Because at least with Kenny winning the AAA Mega Championship, they can respect like his style is. It's definitely not lucha libre, but it can borrow pieces from it a little bit more.
It has some lucha influence
compared to FTR, which couldn't be further from it. So
no, FTR are the brain busters.
100%. So yeah, I'm interested to see, because believe it or not, I actually watched a good portion while I was at work last week. Before I went on vacation, I watched a good portion of AAA's last pay-per-view.
Okay.
I found it, a perfectly legal stream, and
Absolutely.
I was watching it, and I watched, like the majority of it. Watched the Lucha Bros match. It was a lot shorter than I anticipated that being, and I still there's a lot I don't understand. There's a lot in presentation that like. I like some of it. I definitely don't like all of it. It's Bizarro World to me. It's Bizarro World Wrestling. I can't.
So I haven't watched a lot of AAA, but I know in CMLL they have like rounds.
They don't have rounds. No, they don't have rounds.
So there'll be a match.
They have advertisements everywhere too.
Everywhere.
Going on everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, It's like a NASCAR race.
Yeah,
Advertisements. So in CMLL they have 3 rounds.
I don't mind that.
And I don't know how it works because the scoring is so weird. But they have like ring girls come out with like skimpy dressed in like round 1, and I'm just like.
And that's pretty much every match, unless it's like a different.
Yeah, it's very strange. Like the Lucha Libre rules are very weird. So apparently AAA is.
None of the matches I watched on this pay-per-view, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but none of the matches they watched on this pay-per-view had.
Okay, I think AAA is a little bit more like standard.
It isn't
wrestling.
It is and it isn't. They do the 6-sided ring, of course.
Yes.
So that's always weird to me, just on a visual perspective, and just the way moves kind of work, and the way like you watch the wrestling. And CMLL is still 4-sided ring, correct?
4-sided.
Yeah. Then like and I was explaining this to Teresa too, like. And I think it's long been a trope of Mexican wrestling. I'm aware of that. But it's also like a very cultural thing. They are big on the trans wrestlers like that. And they do a ton of intergender stuff. But a lot of the intergender stuff is technically between 2 men, or...
Yeah.
I'm trying to not be insensitive here, and I'm trying to word it correctly.
But there was the one in Lucha Underground that was... Like you know the one I'm talking about?
I do. I can't. The name's slipping me right now, but
but it was a male wrestler that was like basically dressing in drag,
almost in drag. Like it's you're sort of supposed to know, but they've gone a long way with that, and they really like, from what I could tell, one of these wrestlers was older, had a lot of respect in the community. Maybe wouldn't have got respect in years past, but they gave him
Pimpinella. I
think you might be right. I'm not gonna even.
That's the name of the one from Lucha Underground. Pimpinella.
Not the same one, but this. But this was somebody like that was clearly like a fan favorite. That, it's. I'm not gonna say it's jarring, but it's slightly like it. Because of you're just. The way they present it as reality, but not like they have their own weird like blurring of kayfabe, if that makes any sense. And they 100%. and it's like it's a cultural thing. What I'm very interested in is to see how awkward it is with FTR and an actual AAA match in Mexico.
Oh my God!
Like that,
I'm pretty sure those dudes don't know much Espanol.
I'll venture a guess. Well, they got Tully. Tully knows it all. You'll be fine.
Oh yeah, they got Tully. Tully is fine.
Yeah, he's fluent for sure.
Well, actually, no. Tully might not be, but Tessa probably is because she's married to Daga.
Yeah. There was a story about her, of course, whilst you were away for the last couple of weeks.
The women's wrestling thing.
Wrestling thing, and then something came out today that if Brian Cage hadn't left Impact, he was going to be the one to defeat Blanchard when she had that belt. That was, I guess, the original plan. And then there was, Cage, I haven't heard the interview, but Cage must have done one where he also said that Impact was going to sue AEW if he appeared at Double or Nothing, the first Double or Nothing. He was
at All In.
Was it All In?
Yep.
Yeah,
it was All
he was
in
supposed to be
Chicago.
because he was supposed to be the Joker. I think that was the idea. He was supposed to be the Joker, which he eventually did later down the road.
Yep.
But who was that Joker at All In?
Oh.
Yeah, that's something I don't remember off the top of my head. Was it Rey Mysterio? Or no, he was in a different match. We talked about that the other week. Yeah.
He was in the main event.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's so easy to forget with Rey. Like that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
While you're looking that up, I'll also say that one of the funnier stories from the week as well was the leaked quote unquote Full Gear card with Tony Khan. That's got to be such a work, right? Like, there's no way in hell
think so, yeah.
Tony is that aloof that if you don't know what we're talking about, he was at one of his Jacksonville Jaguar games on the sideline. He says that at halftime he was just coming up with ideas for, what the full gear card would look like. So he was jotting down some potential matchups and, on his clipboard or what have you. And, of course, a photographer, caught a picture of him, and a wrestling fan zoomed in and was like, I wonder what Tony Khan's writing down on his papers here. I guarantee you that was a work because because
Tony Khan is so much smarter than that.
Not only that, you would say that was actually like Jacksonville Jaguars like plays and stuff like that.
Right.
That he was like he would literally probably have to step down from his position if he was like so cavalier about just kind of leaving your notebook open, or you know what I'm saying, like. That would not be a good look for the Jaguars or that side of his business. So he ain't that dumb. And you know what? He's probably doing it to get feelers out for matches. That's all he's doing. He's got, Kenny and Hangman at the top of the page, which has already been announced. I forget what some of the other ones were, but he's probably doing it to get us talking to see if people are into this match or they aren't.
Right.
What a genius way of doing sort of test marketing in a sense, right? Like you're seeing what's
doing market research without doing market research.
That's exactly the term I was looking for. Yeah, but I think genius, way of doing it, especially in 2021.
Absolutely
putting those feelers out.
Yep.
Did you find out that stupid piece of information?
There wasn't a Joker in that buy-in.
No,
because it was like the winner of the battle royale. Hey, stop pushing me, you fucking asshole, trying to eat my chair. The winner of that battle royale got a title shot against Jay Lethal on the main card later that night. So it was Flip Gordon as Chico El Luchador,
right,
who eliminated. So
did Flip? Did he get canceled? Did Flip get canceled?
Flip didn't get canceled. He's just stupid. He's in Ring of Honor.
Yeah. He's just stupid.
He's just stupid. He's just stupid.
Oh, that's more or less all the stuff I really wanted to talk about this week. I mean, I might tune in. I mean, I think, I should be around on Thursday. I might tune in to Crown Jewel Live. I don't know. I'm undecided.
Yeah, I am too. I'm just like, because it starts at like noon, right?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, which is, it's kind of nice to have a wrestling show earlier on just to get it like out of the way. Like
Out of the way.
I don't mind that. Like that's kind of cool.
No, I don't either. I think I'm off at like 1:30, so I should miss the dumb shit, you know.
If there's anything worth tuning into, maybe I'll let you know. But
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of it might be one for the recap or watch it a double speed type situation. Other than that, I'm really, really looking forward, of course, everybody, to seeing you this Saturday.
Yeah. I'm very stoked about this.
And we got a good group going. If you're unable to meet up with us in the Hourglass District beforehand at the Commission Beer Chamber, again I'll post all these details in the Facebook group. Again, about 4 o'clock. Then we'll see you in the seats because a lot of us are right in the same row, and we'll be able to shake some babies and kiss some hands and whatever.
Kiss some hands and shake babies. Yeah. No, we definitely shake babies.
Mm-hmm.
That's good for them.
Corona, they stopped us from kissing the hands, but I never really liked that part anyway. The baby shaking's fun though.
Baby shaking is great. Like that's actually should be a sport.
Yeah. We've got Deuce is planning on wearing. I think his he was gonna wear his American flag overall type situation.
Oh God!
But I think he's changed it up. I think he's going full like Hangman shirt and stuff. He's going full cowboy shit. I think
full cowboy shit, huh?
I think that's what he's voting on. I think or he voted on in the group. Of course, Facebook.com/groups. Search for Ohno Wrestling, OHNO space wrestling, and join the group. And check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/ONRS.
Live. ONRS.
All right, that's right. ONRS live. Patreon.com/ONRS. I need to standardize all of them, make it easy. OhnoMedia.com if you need to just kind of find anything that I just talked about. All the links are up there. Duncan, it's been a fun show.
Yes, sir.
We'll see everybody out at the either the meetup beforehand or at the event itself on Saturday. I will have plenty of Ohno Wrestling stickers. I got some of the new kind. I think I still got some of the old kind hanging about.
I think I still got some of the old
kind
kicking around.
We'll be bringing those by, and maybe at the if you come to the meetup, maybe there'll be a couple of pieces of merch and stuff out there that you can pick up as well.
I have some stuff I'll be bringing around. I know Deuce is interested in some things that may or may not be on my wall right now.
I'll have a couple freebies for you as well. And that being said, Duncan, what do we say when we get out of here? Remember, we got to do it the one way. The other woo.
Wu-Tang.
See you next week. We'll let you know. Could be Tuesday, could be Friday. I don't know.
It'll be whenever we feel like it.
It's whatever we feel like. Love you. Bye.